Hey lovelies, welcome back to Reviews and Recaps. Today we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 3. Now, am I the only one who feels like this episode was kind of boring? It just felt like a filler episode where they're just like, all right, there you go. Normally, I like to talk about like some of the things that I feel like, oh, are really interesting from the episode. And I feel like for the most part, there isn't really a lot that interested me. But I do want to talk about some things. So I want to talk a little bit about Quad and her man. I also want to talk about Dr. Cecil and Dr. Simone and how I feel like they enabled the boys. If you guys have watched my previous reviews on some of the previous seasons, you guys know I always say they enable these boys. I want to talk about it in a little bit of detail. I'll also talk about anything else that I found interesting from the episode as we go along. But if you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do reviews and recaps on reality TV shows. I also do celebrity news. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all your notifications. And everyone, please like, share, and don't forget to let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So before we start, how would you rate this last episode of Married to Medicine? If I were to give it a rating, I would say 5. I found it very dry, like I said, but I want to give them 5 for effort because it must have taken some effort to film the scenes, but I wasn't entertained in any way. Now let's talk about King and Quad. I will say Quad seems happier with this man. She seems to be smitten with him. She was smiling in the confessional. She's really feeling him. I really hope he feels that way as well. I would love to see a little bit more of their interaction. She's genuinely glowing. So I really do hope like it works out well for her. I did find it a bit odd that when he called her on the phone, he was saying Miss Quad, Miss Quad. Like, I don't know. That just seems a little bit more like something someone who watches the show would do, or like a fan of the show. Like, you know how Mariah used to call her Miss Quad, or something like that. Like, that's the vibe it's given, not what your man should be calling you. But if it works for them, it works for them. But I thought that was weird in my opinion. Also, it sounded like Quad is ready to have a baby with King. They're doing IVF. She talks about wanting twins. I'm just like, everything just seems so quick. But I guess what they say about if you know, you know. She did talk a little bit about her past relationship with Dr. G and talking about it not being a good space to have children. That I completely agree with. It felt like Quad did not like Dr. G in any way. Dr. G just looks like he wasn't happy with Quad because Quad did not want to give him a baby. The whole relationship was toxic. So I feel like having kids would have just made it even worse. So at least they knew enough not to go there at all. I also did notice that Quad's boyfriend gave her a Rolls Royce and some other LV bits, right? I want to talk about the Rolls Royce for a second. I was thinking, interesting. Is this a storyline, sort of something concocted to promote his business? Because it was then said that King is into luxury car rentals. So I just thought, oh, so this is another rental, maybe one of his other rentals that he has. And it's not like he bought it outright for Quad. Now, not that it matters, but in a way, I'm like, I really hope it's genuine and it's not sort of like a platform for him to come over here and promote his business and is not that smitten with Quad. So I really do hope that that's not what it is. I really hope that it's all genuine. But I just thought that scene seemed planned and did not really seem like genuine. I even thought she would be even more excited than she was. So I'm like, it's given we've filmed this a few times or we've planned this a few times together. So that genuine surprise and stuff is just not there. I feel like it's really nice to see Dr. Eugene and Toya getting along this season. I think they've had some difficult seasons, but one thing that is obvious is Dr. Eugene loves him some Toya. And I love that for her. I feel like that's why some of the girlies on the show seem to hate or come at Toya, or used to come at Toya a lot, because I think out of all of the men, Dr. Eugene is the one who clearly visibly loves his wife, always wants to take care of his wife, doesn't need his wife to be out here working so hard. She can relax whilst he makes the money, and yes, he treats her really well. To be honest, I feel like a lot of them are probably looking at Toya like, what is it about Toya? She's really getting this princess treatment from Dr. Eugene, but I think she really picked a good one, so I'm happy for her. Now, Toya was trying to encourage him to add more services like Botox. I do think a lot of people are loving their Botox nowadays, so it will bring him a lot of money. I love how people try and act like Toya is not smart and did not have a previous life before she became a housewife. But to be honest, it sounds like she does, and she knows her ish. So I do agree with what she's saying about Botox and how she's trying to push and do a bit more marketing for Dr. Eugene. I think Dr. Eugene should let Toya get into it and try and push his business forward. I do understand that he is trying to like wait it out. And I do know sometimes some people feel like, oh, let's wait and let's start small. I hear it, but then sometimes you have to strike while the iron is hot, right? So if there are opportunities out there that you want to take advantage of, you might as well do that, and that will bring you a lot of clientele. Like, for instance, the Botox clientele would be huge if he added that into his services from day one. He's going to have a lot of that, and then he can pitch the other services as well. But I think Dr. Eugene is more passionate about the wellness and wants to establish himself in that wellness space first before adding Botox into it. Both are right. I just think there needs to be a bit of a balance so that Dr. Eugene's practice can also still be making a lot more, considering he moved from being an ER doctor to then doing his own business, which usually needs some time to grow. So I think he needs to lean into Toya and let her run it, because it sounds like she's had marketing experience in her previous life. I did also think it was really cute that Toya's son felt comfortable talking about wet dreams in front of Toya. I personally would have been so like, ugh, I don't know if I want to hear about your wet dreams. Talk to your daddy. Like, I'm out. But at least he felt comfortable enough to bring it up in front of both of them. I think that is a testament to how great a job they did in raising their children. Now let's talk about Dr. Cecil and Dr. Simone. I'm very, very disgusted by the way the kids left the apartment. And I'm even more shocked that Simone and Cecil went over there and cleaned that apartment. There is no way you will leave your apartment in that state, despite knowing that I'm meant to be coming over to help you with cleaning so that we can all do it together. One, you have no regard for my time. You do not care. And they knew exactly what they were doing because they know that their parents will do it for them. This is because their parents have refused to set boundaries. I personally would leave that place for you. You will come back and meet that house in the same state at which you left it. I will not be cleaning after you. That is disgusting. You are grown-ass men. You guys are not kids. You are living by yourself. If you're old enough to live by yourself, you're old enough to do all of these things by yourself. Even if you're under my roof, if I tell you to clean, you clean. I think it's enabling. I think it's coddling these children for you to go in there and be cleaning for them, then take something and be like, oh, they've paid for it. No, ma'am, that is unacceptable. You guys are pushovers and you're raising children that are manipulative, in my opinion. I don't like to come for people's kids, but these children are grown, okay? And they have put their lives on TV for us all. If my mom walks into that space, she's probably going to be like, girl, get out of this house. Especially if it's her investment condo. She's going to be like, ow, you can't even clean the house. Are you going to leave it in this state? That is disgusting. The way that house was terrible. I was very disappointed to see Dr. Simone join in to clean. Usually, Dr. Simone makes it seem like Cecil is the one that doesn't have boundaries with the kids, but they both don't have boundaries with the kids. They both are enablers. Why? These men are grown. If they don't clean it, let them come back and live in their own mess. Once they leave the condo, you get cleaners to deep clean the property, pay them a little extra, repaint the property. But to say that you would come in there and clean, how are they going to learn? They will continue to do this, and you will continue to have to be cuddling and taking care of them. And these same men will end up marrying women or ending up with women and leaving them to do all of the house chores. That is horrible. You can't raise men like that would be unable to do basic things like cook, clean. Just cook and clean after yourself, or get somebody to do it. If you can't clean, get a cleaner. Sometimes I get a cleaner to come over because I can't be bothered to clean. But it's like one thing has to go for something. It's either you get up, spend your time cleaning, or get someone to do it for you and pay them. Simple. They are grown enough to put money aside to be able to do that. Yes, they've chosen not to do that. That's because they don't care. They know their parents are going to do it. They're taking you for idiots. So the girlies also sent out an invite for a so-called cowboy themed event. It's looking like it's going to be an interesting trip, so I'm going to wait to see what comes of that. But I feel like aside that, there really isn't anything else that I found interesting. I think the dynamic between Phaedra and Apollo is a bit interesting in the sense that, like, I'm glad they seem to be doing okay to be able to be in each other's space without it being volatile. But it felt a bit awkward. I wonder how many times Apollo goes to pick up the children, because it just seemed like the whole interaction was weird for everybody. In my opinion, outside looking in, I was just looking and I'm thinking, like, what is going on here? But I'm hoping that could be fleshed out a little bit as we continue to watch the show. I will say, I do feel like, I know Phaedra thinks Toya has been nosy, but I do feel like at the end of the day, you're being paid to be on a reality TV show, mama. You got to show something, you got to engage. At the moment, we know nothing about Phaedra. Nothing about the so-called doctor Phaedra was dealing with or is dealing with. Did they break up? What's going on there? Like, nothing is being said. Why is she still unmarried to Medicine? Is she dating somebody unmarried? Like, the whole thing is just a bit weird to me. So like I said, I just feel like this is a filler episode, but let me know what you think in the comment section below. I didn't really find a lot of things interesting, but I was like, I gotta post for you guys so you guys at least have something to listen to and hear me break down some of the things that happened. But in actual facts, I just feel like I hope next week is better. It is looking like it's going to be better, so we wait for that. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Thank you. Bye.